Well, we may have done a little too good a job on those intros. That's kind of a tough act to follow, isn't it? Just a dead opening. How are all of you doing? Hopefully you can hear and see. Everything looks good, I hope. We have our guest backstage. Guest, if you can hear me, can you give me a thumbs up? There you go. Perfect. Okay, we'll bring you on in just a little bit. How's everybody doing? Hopefully the audio is great. There's no video except for my beautiful dog, Lucille. I'm excited about today. Today is going to be an inaugural uh, going to Hawaii live stream. We have a really cool, and I'm actually glad a couple of people that ended up not coming on didn't come on because uh, I think you guys are going to be really, really happy with who we have coming on today. Let's do a little roll call. And without an E, good to see you. Kathy, good to see you. Shane, sir, always good to see you, my friend. And Sandra, the godmother, Janet, always good to see you. And Jill and Diane, wonderful to see you. Notifier, hopefully you didn't have to notify too many people. Aloha, Daryl and Shane, Sandy and Cheryl, good to see you guys. We will probably have some new people on today. So I may be going over some repeated information, but it's just about information and things that are coming up for happenings coming in on Oahu in the upcoming months. If you give me 1 second, I need to do one little thing here. Ruth, good to see you. And Norma, I can still chat out to you guys while I'm doing this. Okay. And sadly, they won't let me do this until they won't let me do this until the stream has started. I don't know why they require that. But okay, so all right. So there's a lot of things coming up in the coming months. I'll just go down a few of them. Some of the upcoming events for July coming up on the 19th is going to be Ocean Fest. I know a lot of you are going to be here in July and coming up in August. So July we have Ocean Fest. That will include a street festival, of course, on Kalakaua. And then the upcoming big month is going to be August 15th through the 24th. There's going to be a whole almost 2 weeks or 10 days or so, a little more of festivals and conventions and conferences. The Made in Hawaii show obviously is going to be on the 15th through the 17th. That's the convention center. That's probably one of the biggest shows here in Hawaii for Hawaii made products. And also during that whole time frame is going to be Duke's Ocean Fest, where they have the dog surfing competition, the human surfing competition. There's going to be a Sunset on the Beach movie again. I think the week of the August 30th. Yes, August 30th. And then the Okinawan Festival is going to be on August 30th. That's a really good conference for a lot of people to go to. It's not just for the Japanese market. They have food and music and crafts and all types of things. It's quite cool. Then let's see, on September 6th is the Waikiki Street Jam. That's going to be another street festival in Kalakaua, of course. And then September 12th to the 14th is the Hawaii Market Expo. I've heard that that's only for industry people, but I'm not sure about that. But that's September 12th to the 14th. Then on the 26th of September, Freddie Swims is going to be at the Waikiki Shell. A couple things coming up in October. Let me see. Oh, still in September on the 28th is the Aloha Festival Floral Parade. That's going to be quite something. If you've never seen that, that is an amazing parade. And they have the horses made up in lots of flowers and headdresses and all kinds of things, bunch of floats. It's quite good. October 12th, we have the Waikiki Fall Festival. That's also going to be a Kalakaua Avenue Festival. And if you remember right, they've cut the number of festivals on Kalakaua down by over half. So if that's one of the things that you want to do while you're here, just go on to, for now, you could go onto a website called Waikiki Beach Stays, and you can see all the festivals. All these festivals I'm talking about are listed on there. But look under Kalakaua Street Festivals, and that's probably the number one asked question is when is there going to be a street festival? The next one is going to be, as I said, on October 12th. Then October or November 8th is the next one. Then December 6th, there's two main things happening in December, other than the across the board lights and Christmas decorations throughout Waikiki and the other islands. But on December 6th, they have the City Lights. That's a lighting festival down there by the Civic Center, down there by Iolani Palace, down in that area. It's a wonderful, wonderful ceremony. They have just a ton of lights down there. The kids like it, grown-ups like it. And then, of course, in December, from December to March, it's not a set date, but it's the Eddie Invitational. That's the winter months when the waves really start kicking at Pipeline and Sunset Beach. If you've never seen it in person, you really should. You really owe it to yourself to see it. All right, Lance, good to see you, my friend. Mr. In Between, Judy, good to see you. Shane, thanks for coming on, my friend. Shane's going to put that contest over the line just by himself. So just a reminder on a couple of selfish plugs. We have the giveaway going on still for the YouTube views for the link that's in the post that you'll see at the post that's at the top of the page. If we get, we're already going to give away 2 catamaran passes and the paintings for or pictures for from Stephanie. And then if we get over 2 or get over 1,000, we're going to have 2 winners that will get a catamaran pass and a Stephanie painting. So that's or I'm sorry, 2 $25 gift certificates. That's what they are. 2 $25 restaurant gift certificates and a catamaran pass we'll be giving away. So I think you're close, right, Shane? How many do you have? There were what, 700, 725, something like that? Yeah. Yeah, 710, 710, something like that. All right. The another update, I told you guys about the @hotels.com, the hotel website for 40% discounts. I've got a couple of people that have gone on there that said they had a really good experience, and one person said they couldn't figure it out. I wasn't really sure what they were saying. They couldn't figure it out because it's just, you just opt in, you just put your email in, and they give you up to 40% off. So I went back onto there to see if it was working right, and it worked fine for me. The other website that is very much like at hotels, and again, that's AT hotel.com, not AT Hotels. No, don't put the S on there. That's a Japanese hotel company. The other website that's very much like that, but it operates a little different, but they still offer up to 40% off, is Plannin. It's PLANNIN.com. PLANNIN.com. So give those sites a shot and see what you think of them. While I was out there doing some of that research, I did some looking around on some of the hotel sites just to get some comparison of rates, and I found out that, and I didn't see this on many other websites, but the Alohilani here in Waikiki, they allow you to make payments on your vacation. I know that Costco does that, and a couple of ad agency or travel agencies do that, but I've never seen it on a Hotel Direct website. And that hotel is managed by Highgate, which used to be a client of ours, and I don't see it on other websites. Maybe I'm just overlooking it, but I don't look for that. But you're able to book travel, and actually you get the rate, the monthly payment that you can make for, I think, 6 months or so, something like that. And I thought that was pretty unique. I mean, it kind of changes the makeup of how you think about your vacation, and that's at the Alohilani. Are any of you familiar with that? Let me know in the chat if you guys have seen that before, because I certainly haven't. And just another quick couple of reminders that the tax, what is that? Oh, it's the TAT tax is going to be increasing So any stays after January of 2026 is going to be almost a full percent, 0.75% higher. And just as I said, just as I warned, they are going to be raising resort fees. I know they are for sure at Hilton Hawaiian Village, at what used to be the Romer Waikiki. It's the Ambassador now, which, by the way, that hotel is no longer a Romer hotel. It's now the Ambassador, and that is a Hilton property. It's a Hilton Tapestry. That's just another portfolio of their type of hotels, but it has a little bit more elevated services at the hotel. But again, that's the Ambassador, but they're raising their resort fees. I heard that the Hilton Waikiki, which is back behind the Marriott, that's going to be raising their resort fees as well. And I know if those are hotels that I'm hearing about, there are definitely going to be others that are going to be raising their rates. So just be aware of that. There was also a story I read this last week that I wanted to just bring up to you guys that it was relating to FIT, or frequent individual travelers or transient travelers, that at the point now there has been a lot of people. There's been like 2 polls, I think, by Hawaii. I think it was Hawaii Travel did a poll, and they said that, well, it was a poll, this is a report, that 80% of all the visitors to Hawaii last year were from U.S. mainlanders. Okay. But they did a poll and they said that 60% of those people said that the Hawaii they visited this year, which was 2024, not 2025, 2024, was not the Hawaii that they visited last time. And they related it to 3 things: the service, the way that they were welcomed or not felt welcome, and the prices going up. Those 3 things. And I wonder, in the chat, let me know what you guys thought about that. Did you feel that Hawaii in 2024 was not like the Hawaii that you visited in the past? And if so, why? And I'll watch for some of your comments here. Diane says she books directly. Oh, you're talking about for the rates there, right? Steve, just the hotel strike was, yeah, that was a little rough. Aloha, Gerard. Haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to. I don't know why they don't allow me to do this. They make me do it after the stream starts. Cheryl, you're coming here soon? Yeah, Gerard, yeah. All right, very good. I apologize about that. There's nothing that Facebook will allow me to do this setup that I just did before the stream, so I apologize about that. Okay, one last little. There were a couple other things. Some of you were talking about coming, and you're going to be staying at the Ala Moana Hotel. They're going under renovations here in the next couple months. They're usually really good. Hotels are usually really good about telling you about that, especially when you're coming for your Hawaii vacation. But they may not put that on their website. And I looked, I didn't see it on their website. Someone else had asked about the Atlantis. That Atlantis property is still moving forward, but it's going. They're already a year behind schedule, they said. And I don't know. Maybe our guest has been out there in the last month. I haven't been out there in the last 2 months, but I'll take a look at that property and see if there's anything that will let us know what their progress is. All right. Okay. So let's do this. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat for me right now. And if not, give me 1 second. I'm going to do a link here for our guest. Does anybody have any ideas who our guest may be? Guest, I'm putting a link in the comments for you. That'll be just for you, and I'll bring you on in about just a couple minutes, please. Oh, you're looking at the Vibe, Gerard? All right, cool. Yeah, the Vibe is pretty cool. It's a nice little hotel, just right there off the side of the street. It gets you everything you need. It's not a big resort, but obviously you're not paying resort prices. So there you go. All right. So if you guys are on YouTube, we are on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. If you're not on our YouTube page, you will for sure want to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I know we've said that in the past. We've rewarded you for doing that, but we're going to be doing a couple of giveaways with this fine gentleman we're talking about that are going to be the first two are probably going to be exclusive to YouTube, and then the other two are going to be exclusive to Facebook. Okay. As you know, I have been looking to get some tour operators to work with us, and I'm always very candid with you guys. I have to tell you, they're flakes. There's no other really ways to say it. They just are. The only person who was actively pursuing and responding was this gentleman. And I've done some research since I spoke to him. He's a pretty fascinating dude. He's done a number of things. I'm not going to say much about what he's done. I'll let him talk about it during our interview. But I'm really impressed with him. I mean, you guys know that I'm very candid with you. I'm very, very harsh on vendors who want to do business with us. They'll contact us and then they never follow up, or they follow up 3 weeks late or 4 weeks late. And I know I've told you guys many, many times, if I can't either do the tour or stay at the hotel or eat at the restaurant, I'm not going to endorse them. But because we have received a number of responses about this guy, and I've actually asked a couple concierges about it, not just his tour company, but him individually. And they're like, oh yeah, and they butcher his name, of course, which I'm not going to, because I'm going to call him something else. But nothing but glowing endorsements for the guy. And I am just happy. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can bring to us. So no, it's not. You guys are guessing really close, but it is not. Are you ready? Let's bring him on. All right, here we are. We are with, I don't even want to say the name. Let's check your audio, JK.
Yes, thank you, Tony. Can you hear me?
Perfect. So can you say your name for the...
Well, first of all, Tony, thank you for that introduction. You're making me blush, so thank you. Yeah, of course. Look, the name is it could be tricky for some, so it's actually Ioannis, but I go by JK, so you can call me JK to make it easier for you.
Perfect, JK. All right, well, everybody, let's put a welcome in for JK in the comments. So just a little bit of a kind of a background. Steve and his wife Natalie gave us just glowing responses to your tour, and I can probably tell you off screen who the concierges were, knew your company, and the name of his company is Hi5 Hawaii. Is that right? Hi5Hawaii.com.
Yeah, look, it's Hi5 Tours Hawaii, so HI numerical 5, but yeah, Hi5 Tours Hawaii is the name.
Hi5 Tours Hawaii.
That's correct.
Good.
Yeah. And I remember Steve and Natalie, an amazing couple, beautiful souls.
Yeah, they are. They're very good. Well, Natalie is. I wouldn't go so far as Steve. But so JK, why did you start a tour company? I mean, for goodness sakes, there are tons and tons and tons of, and I'm sure you probably second guessed your decision to do it. So why did you do it?
Well, I think it's one of those things, Tony. Why not? You know, you're in Hawaii, and tourism and hospitality is very much Hawaii. And I think it's to be in the service of another. And I think Hawaii kind of represents that, to be in the service of another. Certainly has historically, and especially when you start to learn more about the Hawaiians, on the island. So for me, it was more of a case of building something that people could feel safe and actually see as much as they possibly can, and actually sort of taste the island. So for me personally, it was all about how can I construct a tour, build a company, and of course, no company is great without its amazing staff. So it was how do I cultivate all those so we can provide and be in the service for those guests that come to Hawaii. So it was all about to be in the service of another, and I think ultimately that's what got me into this business, Tony.
Mhm. So how long have you been in operation, JK?
Yeah, so Tony, I've been in business. So Hi5 Tours went live, I want to say, in the latter part of 2017. And,
Oh wow.
organic, we're all about, I mean, as you probably know, and many of, I suppose, a lot of your audience, the best way to advertise is through word of mouth. So you let your product or service do the talking. So effectively, we were able to grow the company from the feedback and the reviews that many of our clients experienced with myself and the tour guides. So it was organic, definitely organic. It was trying to find a way of how can I, because as you've mentioned earlier, Tony, it's very competitive. Hawaii is
Yes.
competitive. I always say there's always food for everyone here. So I never really wanted to take the approach of being sort of competitive myself with regards to other business owners and operators. I always said, well, your product will speak for itself. The same thing as a chef with their recipe, let it speak for itself. And in Hawaii, there's an abundance of food for all. So I was just mostly focused on the service side of the business, and again, I'd never set up a company. So for me, this was the first time. So it's like riding a bicycle. It was like I had to go through some challenges and obstacles as we all do in life, but it does build you, So I did a lot of trial and error. But most importantly, whatever you decide to do, you've got to have fun in the process. So, as I realized that we're all creators, if you connect to the source. So there's nothing that can stop you once you can get into that mode, that source. So for me, it's there was trial and error, but I enjoyed every moment of it.
Well, JK, you've mentioned a number of times there's enough food, there's enough to eat to
Yes,
go around.
yes.
Is there a do you have a background in food and service or food service?
Look, I think food's a love language, and I think everyone can kind of relate that. Anthony Bourdain, famously said that you can learn a lot about your fellow human by having a meal with them when you take the time to sit down. So I think we're all connected by food, from recipes from our childhood, and of course, generations as well. Genetics have a lot to do with that. So I think food has always been a strong focal. Well, it certainly is for Hi5 Tours, but more so it's the island. I've been here for shy on 13 years. I think October would mark my 13 years on Oahu. And one thing I've learned in the 13 years is that food is a love language for the Hawaiians. And of course, because it's a melting pot. I myself, to go back to your question, Tony, I had worked in food when I left school kind of young in New Zealand. So I went into food for about maybe 3 years. But I've kind of worked in so many different industries. But I would probably say that my traveling experience, and I've done a lot of traveling because, of course, a lot of my family are not in Hawaii. So for me to travel to my father's side of the family in Greece, and of course my mum's side of the
Oh,
family,
wow. Yeah.
and I've got so many family members and friends sort of scattered around the world. When you travel, you'll learn a lot about the culture, the people, buy the food again, buy the recipes.
Well, one of the things I noticed on your website is that you have a number of
Yes,
tours. You have a
yes,
food tour of North Shore. You also have
we
Pearl
do.
Harbor, things like that. Can you just give just a snapshot of each of those tours, because there's something specific I want to ask you
Yeah,
about
of
them. Just
course.
give us an
No, I'm
outline.
glad you asked that because when you go on a website, it can get confusing, of course. So, look, I try to keep it like less is more in life, in many ways. So I try and sort of simplify. So effectively, Hi5 Tours Hawaii, and I'm more than happy to supply links to your audience, and I know you will as well. But so we have kind of three products. When I started the company again late October 17, I created a really cool Circle Island tour. It was about let's eat our way around Oahu with some adventure. The adventure in that tour was the paddle boarding or kayaking in a river on the North Shore. And
Mm.
so that tour is still in operation today. It's been modified. So we have the Circle Island tour that effectively will pick you up from Waikiki. Now, Tony, that's the only tour that, of course, we need you to be in Waikiki. If you are staying outside of Waikiki, you can meet at a central location. And then
Mm.
we effectively go clockwise around Oahu. Now, I won't go through all the stops because, again,
Yeah, yeah.
the,
Listen.
the website has the stops, but what makes that one unique is we go to, it's like eat your way around Oahu. And one of the things that it does do is, again, the adventure component is about an hour and 15 minutes to paddleboard or kayak or enjoy the old Haleiwa town, which is a beautiful boutique sugar town. So that's the Circle Island tour. We also have the popular Food and Waterfall tour. Now, that's the tour that Natalie and Steve enjoyed. Now, that one's amazing because we tend to go to places a little less visited and we don't do 20 to 30 stops. We try to be there. So we're not going to rush you. And of course, we deal
Mm.
with smaller groups of up to 14 people. Now, that one, what I like about that is we do team up with businesses that kind of like more grassroots. And that one does have alcohol sampling for those that want to try some of the most amazing rum on the island, which is Agricole Rum Distillery. And that one
Mm.
has the beautiful Waimea Valley. And Tony, I think the best part of that tour, outside of the rum, of course, I know Steve enjoyed the rum, would definitely be the Waimea Valley. It's such a significant cultural site. It dates back to shy of 400 AD, and the educators are incredible. I mean, you have shamans, you have people up there that are really there learning the culture, not just by talking, but actually practicing. So that place, everyone should go, regardless of you doing the food tour or not. That's definitely a place you should get to. It's the Waimea Valley. Now, on our food tour, of course, we do spend about 2.5 hours there. So you have enough time to learn about the ancient Hawaiian traditions, the language, because the educators are there for you. And of course,
Yeah.
waterfall is amazing, Tony. And I know you fully, enjoyed the beautiful water there at the waterfall. And
Yes,
of
I have.
course, the hike is amazing. It's nothing too
Yeah.
strenuous. It's fully paved, so all generations can enjoy. And they even have a shuttle that can take you straight there for, I believe, $10 each way. But if you are able to walk 3/4 of a mile, I certainly encourage you to do so because it is a
It's
beautiful,
beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.
beautiful.
It's
And
amazing.
it's worth noting, Tony, it has one of the best spam masubis. I'm going to tell you that now. Outside of the 7-Eleven,
Is that
the
right?
spam masubi at the kitchen that they have there is incredible, incredible.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad you mentioned that about oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, no, I was just going to say is so the Food and Waterfall tour is that tour, and then the third one, Tony, is the private island tour where we can customize a tour for the family for even if it's just a solo or couple or a larger group, and you want to specialize where you sort of just want to have a guide to take you to the places that you want to go to, the private island tour certainly has become has I think I would say, Tony, become the most popular tour is the private island tour, because we work with you and your family and we can go to the places that you want to visit. And a lot of the times families have not been to Hawaii, so they kind of rely on the experienced guides to show them places that you may miss. So the private island tour is the third tour, Tony.
On the private island tour, just let me ask you a question about
Sure.
that first. Is that something that, for example, if I had a family of 5, I would contact you ahead of time and say, these are the places I want to go, don't want to go? Or do I base it on money, number of people, or is it just
Um,
completely
it's a good
customized?
question, Tony. It's a good question. So I keep the site as user friendly as possible. So when you go to the private island tour option on the website, you will see the options of your party size. So, for example, the way the pricing is, if you have 1 to 2 people in your party, so if you're a solo traveler or you're a couple, so 1 to 2, the price is fixed at, say, $799. If your party excuse me, it's 1 to 4. So effectively, if you're 1 to 4, it's 799. And then if you are a family of 5, then it will be sort of 899. And then again, a family of, and then if you're a family of, I believe it's 8 to 13, it's like 1299. So it just depends on the size of your family.
Right.
You would go through and choose the corresponding tour representative of your party size. And then, of course, there's a comment section where they could, put in there. We always encourage, we want to find out from you what you're interested in. So there's a comment section. We ask you, what are the things you're looking forward to? But 100%, Tony, customers can email the info at hi5hawaii.com and call the number. If it's not myself answering it, it'll be one of our team
Mhm.
members. But we can certainly work closely with the family, the individual, the couple, to sort of just maximize their time on the island. Because at the end of the day, we pride ourselves on just getting the most value for your day with us. So definitely.
So if there's, I just want to clarify that. I think it
Yeah,
was clear, but
sure,
let me
Tom.
just clarify for Lance. Um,
Sure.
if I had 4 people and I wanted to come, but I said, you know what, I want to go to Haleiwa a little for a couple hours, but I really want to see turtles, and I only want to go to Waimea Valley. Could I just do that and that's it?
You certainly can. And what's good about our guides is that we kind of know the timing and the traffic. So if it was, let's say, argument's sake,
Lucky you.
within yeah. Yeah. Well, I think this is the reason why I think a lot of your clients enjoy taking tours is because, you don't have to worry about the time to leave to go to that particular attraction. Um, you know,
Right.
okay, so we have a million, as you know, on Oahu. So yes, we have 3 highways, and you can experience traffic like any other city in the world. But the great thing is that when you do a tour, and you really rely on the guide to make sure that you're not necessarily going to be in an hour and a half traffic up on the north Shore,
Exactly.
of course. So ultimately, what we do is, to answer your question, we would work out which would make more sense. So, for example, the turtles, the Haleiwa town. So we would make sure we would say, okay, let's do this, this, and this, which means that we're going to be less time in traffic. So, and that's also the benefit of sort of booking with us. We want to make sure that you touch and taste the island, not sitting in traffic as much as
Right.
possible. Yeah, of course.
Well, one of the things that I really like, and we've actually tried this in the past. I don't want to get into it, but we tried
Yeah.
this in the past to get a private tour driver, not necessarily guide, because I know where I want to go. The people I would take
Yes.
know where they want to go. But the advantage, which is just a small fraction of the advantage of your tour, is that, and people don't know this until they come here. They say, "Oh, I could do the tour myself." They want to
Yeah.
drive their rental car, park it, and leave, park it, leave, park it, leave. The problem is
Yes.
that, as you know, I'm just stating the obvious.
Yes.
Parking is horrible. You can't leave anything in the car. It's the valuables would get taken away. The
Of
amount of
course.
time you focus on driving there and then finding parking there, it's just
Yes.
insurmountable. It's not worth it. It to me, I've said it's worth it to pay the 300 or 400 bucks to have someone just drive you around because they'll save you on parking. You
Of
can put
course.
all your valuables in there. It's going to
Yes.
be safe. But the bonus of you actually going out, and I want you to mention this or talk about this a little bit, but you
Yes.
don't just drive them to Waimea Valley and say, "Okay, guys, get out. I'll meet you back here in an hour," and you're
Yeah.
off on your own. Tell us about that.
Yeah, correct,
You get
Tony.
out and you actually go
You-
with them.
you're right. So not only myself, but the guides that we have, I guess we want to kind of be your guide through the island where we can connect you with the various vendors and the people of Hawaii by going to the particular places of interest. So we personalize it. So effectively, we kind of like play that role where we are kind of like your I guess the best way to look at it is we treat each other like family, ohana, so no one gets left behind. So what we want to do is we
Right.
want to encourage you to maximize your time by the guide going in and making those introductions to the particular business owner, or like, for example, like, and I know my guides do this as well, but for example, when I take people up to the Waimea Valley, there's an archaeological site, and I always, lead everybody and say, look, let's connect with some of these educators. Let's find a couple of Hawaiian words and traditions that you'll be able to know, and therefore something that you can take with you. And that's the key. And in order to do that, you really have to kind of be there to sort of go, hey, look, let's go to this place. Hey, check out the noni fruit. Let's open it up, smell it. This is actually amazing for treatment if you happen to have, cancer, or if you happen to have any health issues. Now, cracking open kukui nuts, for example, breaking up the kukui nuts
Yeah.
and actually squeezing the oils and putting that on your skin and educating to say, hey, this is what the Hawaiians did. They used it as a laxative. They use it on their skin to help, of course, psoriasis and eczema. It's like, it's far better to, be there. And, some of the guides have their own. I always try and, like, when you build a team and you build a company, you really want the tour guide to put their personality on the tour. So that's what and I'm so grateful to have Kelly, Auntie Kelly. She's a beautiful soul. She's a Hawaiian, and and she lives over in Waianae. So I know she gets up very early to get to the yard where the vehicles, where our fleet of vehicles are. Ryan, who's a marine biologist who decided to turn tour guide, and and so on and so on. So, yes, definitely our guides are interactive. They really want to go with you and encourage you to get in the water. And of course, it's important if anyone gets into the water, I do want my guides, and I know myself, to take an extra interest with your safety. So, we do, not only are we guiding, but we, help if there's issues with water, the confidence. Water is one of those strong elements. Not everyone's
Mhm.
confident water. So if people are wanting to go in the water and perhaps do snorkeling, I want to know that I've got my eyes on them, or my guides certainly have. So we don't just sit, forget, and let you go. But at the same time, sometimes with families, they do want to have a bit of alone time. So our guides are really good at knowing to read the room and understand, like, okay, perhaps now it'll be nice for the family to have their time
Right.
with themselves. And then the guide can pull back a little bit. But effectively, you're with us for 8 or 9 hours. So it's a day where we make that connection with you. And of course, first thing in the morning, it's important to make that connection. And I think that's why one of the things I also wanted to do is break bread together as a family. It doesn't get more biblical than that. But when I say break bread as a family, the malasadas. So this is the thing that
Mhm.
those 3 tours, Tony, that I mentioned, we supply complimentary malasadas from Leonard's. And that's what makes us unique, because we want to, like, break bread together. This really does have the ability to get back to, again, the food, and of course, so that's one easy way where we can kind of like come in and go, okay, we're family, let's break bread together, and then we can enjoy the rest of our day.
You probably got 2 or 3 signups just for the malasadas. I can see two people I know
I
for
tell you
sure.
what, the malasada is incredible, and I mean, I can go into further detail. I'm not going to. I mean, they speak for themselves, and I think they're fantastic. I personally prefer the plain. Keep it, less is more in my life, and I think I apply that with food as well. I sometimes just like the dough, and it's very different to the dense American style donut. So that's the influence of the European sweetbread, and of course of my European roots. When I bite into a malasada, it reminds me of a lot of the patisseries and a lot of the in Europe and so on.
I think he's saying pastries, guys. If you want me to interpret to
Yes,
that.
yes, 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 yes.
There's one. We'll get back to tours when we wrap this up, but I want to take just a second here. I want to talk about something that I honestly kind of gave an offhanded look at because I thought, okay. Then I looked at it. What in the world is this Hawaii melting pot video series? These
Oh,
three
yes, yes,
episodes that you have on Amazon. This guy, guys, I'm telling you, some of you know probably because I've talked about it too much about my film and video background. And when someone tells me, "Hey, I produced this video and I did this," what
yes.
I I usually give it a filter of, all right, let's okay, that's great. I'm glad you did that. This series that he's created, it's called Hawaii Melting Pot. Yes, is that right?
That's correct, Tony. Yeah, Hawaiian melting pot, a guided tour,
It
and
is
thank
unbelievably
you.
good. It is super,
Yes.
super cool. And it's on Amazon Prime. You could buy, there's 3 episodes now. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so I'll give you a little backstory. Again, I don't want to take too much time from you and
No,
your
that's why we're here. We want to hear it. We want to hear it.
exactly. Yeah, so in 2020, I was as everyone during the pandemic, everyone was limited to movement, and a lot of people were stationary on the couch, and if you have Amazon or if you have Netflix or Hulu, you probably certainly were binging, and so I kind of never really had turned on Netflix or Amazon. My roommate at the time, she returned to Seattle, where her family were from. She's a teacher, so she had some time with them, and then it was like, well, okay, I'll sit down because I'm a kind of busy. I'm always moving, so I had the time to sit down on the couch. And the next thing I know, I understand, binge watching, unfortunately, because the power it has. I think I started with Ozarks anyway. I won't go into the collection
There
of
you go. There you go.
but what I noticed is I snapped out of it and I said, well, you know what? I need to bring Hawaii to everybody in the world that's probably doing the same thing that I'm doing. And as a result of that, I decided to wake up and say, I'm going to be a director. How hard can it be? Of course, when you start doing it, you realize that, if you've never done
You
it
should have
and
never started.
to be honest with you, that thought perhaps may have crossed my mind, but I tell you what, it's all about perseverance and resilience. So, as you can understand, filming in 2020 during the pandemic has its challenges. So, obstacle number one. And then, of course, never putting together any kind of production and never having a background in film, obstacle number two. So you can understand now. I was so grateful to bring in an amazing team. And of course, a lot of the credit goes to the host, Kenny Kusaka, who's a local comedian on the
Really,
circuit.
really, really
And
good.
actually was a
Really good
tour
job.
guide for Hi5 for over a year and a half, and a beautiful soul. Anyway, so he takes the audience on this incredible journey. And we did produce 3 episodes. Now, the first episode is the origins of poke. The second episode is, of course, the food trucks on the North Shore, and of course the surf. And we interview a good friend of mine, Sparky, sorry, and he's got an amazing surf school in Waikiki, Sparky Surf School. And anyway, we really wanted to have the North Shore, a deep dive of the North Shore. Now, the third episode is probably my favorite because it's a very emotional story of a mum and pop's ukulele business that
Mm.
and their story is just wonderful. I think out of all the interviews, they were the longest, and weren't too sure if we can actually even film them for that amount of time, but it wouldn't do it justice if we decided to break it up. Now, that is the origins of the Portuguese. So when I say the Portuguese, the influence of the malasadas, and then we interview a contemporary store which makes the traditional American donuts, and it's called Puve. It's over in Kaka'ako. And anyway, the ukulele. So there's 3 episodes, like you said. And you can find it on Amazon Prime. And I encourage everyone to watch it, because if you're coming to Hawaii for your first time, you definitely want to go to these places, because I'm so grateful that not only do the businesses, they gave me the permission and they saw the value to film during 2020.
Mm,
All these businesses, Tony, are still operating. So, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring Hawaii to everyone so it can help these businesses. Now, again, inexperienced film director, I didn't realize it was going to take me 5 years, you see, because it's been in post production for nearly 2.5, 3 years. But the minute that it was released, Hawaiian Airlines grabbed it for a 4-month license. So I'm very grateful for Hawaiian Airlines. Thank you.
very
Um,
good. Congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you. And the funny thing is, this even brought me to LA, because I entered it into a film festival, a prestigious Hollywood film festival, and they picked it up to be the finalist. Now, I was so grateful to be there amongst a room of storytellers. So I was able to learn so much. It was a runner-up in the particular category.
Well,
And
congratulations. I see why.
thank you, Tony. And then, as a result, I'm so grateful to get a license with Amazon Prime, and the sky's the limits. I have some ideas for perhaps next year, but ultimately, it's a great feel good story. It's about food, Hawaii, the stories of the immigrants, and again, the host is incredible, and you'll learn a lot. And it's got some quirky individuals. A friend of mine who's one.
Personalities for sure.
Oh, I tell you what, Nico, who's the chef at Pier 38, and Martin Coing, who's an incredible chef from Germany. I mean, I can keep going and going, but yeah, definitely for the audience, if you can, and if you happen to watch it, I would definitely appreciate leaving comments, because again, it's a feel good, and I'm so grateful that you mentioned it, Tony. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, JK, the the stops that are featured on the
Yes.
Hawaii melting pot, is that somewhat, would it be safe to say that that's almost like a video tour of what the some places we can expect if we go on a
Yeah,
tour
you,
with
you
you?
actually, Tony, I never quite saw it as that, but now I think of when it comes to how I wanted to portray Hawaii, it was really a guided tour, hence why I decided to call it Hawaii Melting Pot, to incorporate the melting pot of ethnicities, stories from immigrants, and of course the recipes. And the guided tour aspect is the places that I would take families, individuals on our tours, is the places that I wanted to film. So 100%. The only thing is, if you watch the second episode, which was filmed in Haleiwa Town, some of the businesses, just some of the back shop, not the ones that we interviewed, but just in the distance, they may have changed because, of course, during 2020 to now 25. But as far as the landmarks and all the businesses that we teamed up with, yes, correct. If you do a
Mhm.
tour with Hi5 Tours, the likelihood is you're going to see one or two of those places, and perhaps even meet the owner as well.
That's great. That's great. And then one of the things I particularly am
Yeah.
interested in is the number of people on the vans. You're not taking a big Pegasus bus, right? That's not like the 60-person bus with the.
Yeah, correct. Now it all, so our fleet. So it's important for the client, your guests to know, is our fleet has been Mercedes Sprinters, because they can fit comfortably 14 passengers. So that's a
Right.
fleet that we work with. Now there is times when I have large groups, like a wedding party or an extended family, and they will say, "Hey, look, there's 20 of us, and I'll go, okay, well, it's not a problem. I can actually have access to larger vehicles. So
Mm.
if needs be for the private tours, Tony, I can have a Ford 450, which is super
Mm.
comfortable. And I can cater for a larger group if it's over the 14. And that happens often. We do get that. But usually for the group tours, when they're booking a Circle Island tour, it will be
Right.
or the Food and Waterfall tour, it will be those very comfortable Mercedes Sprinters. And then if it's a family of, let's say it's a private tour of a couple, we also have a nice Metris, which is again the German Sprinters and Metris. So we can cater. We do have comfortable vehicles, 100%, Tony.
Good. And I see that you have the Pearl Harbor tour, the Circle Island tour, the private island tour, the North Shore Food and Waterfall tour. Is there a new tour that hasn't made it on the?
So what we do is I created so Hi5 Tours Hawaii. We also created Hi5 Activities, which effectively just teams up with similar businesses that share similar vision to ourselves, and we team up with them, and effectively we promote their services. So like you'll find that. So when clients or your guests go on the website, you'll see that, oh, cool, I can do a shark dive, or I want to go to Maui. What can we do on Maui? And I actually have teamed up with businesses that my guides or myself have personally experienced to
Yeah.
help promote them. So that's additional. They can certainly see that as well. And we make the website, Tony, as user friendly as possible. I've always learned that from like display, and of course you probably can vouch for this as well with your creative skills. Is you have to sort of make it as user friendly, as possible.
Yeah.
Keep it light, keep it, yeah, be a minimalist in that approach.
Okay. And what we didn't talk much about this, but the Pearl Harbor tour. What is included? What can I expect if I go on that?
Yeah, so the company I teamed up with, effectively, we have a Pearl Harbor tour, which is about 5 hours. So pick you up from Waikiki, and effectively they'll secure the Arizona tickets, which is those tickets where you want to go on to the memorial, and it's I would probably say a 5 minute boat ride, and then you're 20 minutes on the memorial itself, and then you're back to the actual museum part of Pearl Harbor. So it's a very short, quick, like get in and get out, and it's again generously priced, and I think it's $58 per person, and it's an
Wow,
idea of getting to
that's
see
really good.
Pearl Harbor. The transportation is again very clean and efficient, and you do get some commentary with the tour guide. A lot of people need to just to remember is when you get dropped off at Pearl Harbor, the guides themselves can't go in and guide for you because the Pearl Harbor have their own rangers, and
Yes.
they give the information and so on. So sometimes, Pearl Harbor tours, and I like to be transparent, and as I know you do, is often it can just be like people book a tour because it's the transportation. They just don't have an access to perhaps Uber or Lyft or have a rental car. So they do tours because the transportation is there. And probably the other thing is we take the hassle of securing those Arizona tickets, which again are available. You can do Pearl Harbor on your own, and there's plenty
Okay.
of parking and so on. But you're going to get those clients, and of course, those families just want to forget about it. They want someone to pick them up, and they know they'll be dropped back at the hotel, and then of course they'll be able to enjoy a day. And it's about 5.5 hours, and they do go to a City Lights downtown to explain more about Chinatown. I do
Hmm.
believe go to the Punch Bowl, which is one of the four craters on Oahu, where you have the veteran cemetery. So it's definitely, if you want history, but you don't want to be overloaded with it, then this is definitely a good tour to do.
Oh,
It
wow,
also,
there's a lot to that.
yeah, and Tony, it's a good thing to also, if your clients book a private tour with High Five, we can also take them to Pearl Harbor, and again, we can wait for them, and we can kind of like say, hey, look, I recommend 2 hours here. And then when you get back, we'll be here. We can drive you up to the North Shore. We can, so we've done that as well. So we're not just limited. Like private tours have a lot more. I guess has a very flexible. So if any clients are thinking, well, I want to book a private tour, but I also want to book Pearl Harbor. Okay, well, perhaps maybe we can do both.
Right.
Go for 2 hours. I just wouldn't recommend going there more because we want to show you the island. And sometimes by spending too long at Pearl Harbor, you're going to cut into perhaps Waimea Valley or the beaches with turtles and so on and so on.
Right. Okay. So just give me what a day would look like. So let's say that we're going to do the Circle Island tour. Just what would a day like that look like? When would it start? When would we get back? And what are some of the things we'd
Of
see
course,
along the
yeah.
way?
And again, not to go too far with stops, but we would pick you up around. We always stagger our pickups between 8 to 8:30. We'd pick you up from your hotel again in Waikiki or your meeting location in Waikiki, and then we would head to the Green World Coffee Farm because no tour is complete with tasting some coffee in the morning. And Green World is an amazing farm, and it's been in
Yeah, I
business for
love that
about
place.
20. Oh, you do? Yeah. I tell you what, the dirty chai, you got to have the dirty chai. I tell that to everyone. Just get the eight
Ooh,
ounce, less is more again. Now, Green World, now, while we're actually going to Green World, we actually have the malasadas and everyone eats in the van. So that's kind of like what we do with breaking bread together. Once we get to Green World, we do recommend dirty chai. There's free samples in there. There's a great place to buy coffee. And then, about 20 to 30 minutes, then we'll move to the next stop, which happens to be the Dole Plantation, because it's literally 2 minutes down the road. So we
yeah,
stop
across the
there.
street.
Tony, you could walk. We're not going to do it, but you
Yep.
could. And what I would say is that when we go to the Dole Plantation, our guides are good at telling you, well, perhaps see how the pineapples grow and maybe check out the bromeliads, maybe catch a gecko or two. Got those Madagascan geckos in the bromeliads. And then
Yeah.
again, the Dole Whip is why people are there. We don't do the train because, of course, it could take a bit of time, and of course, the maze. But we're there
Yeah,
for
that'll
about,
take a lot of time.
trust me, your trial and error again. So what we do is we keep it like get in and get out, but enjoy the Dole Whip, learn a bit about the pineapples. Then we hit Haleiwa Town, and that's a beautiful sugar town. And then there's an option. This is where we break up the team. So the option is for about an hour and 20 minutes, you can enjoy the old sugar town, which is the old boutique Haleiwa Town. It's art galleries, restaurants, significant landmarks in that town. Or you can just go to the beach, relax, put your towel down, and just get in that water, the North Shore, and enjoy and maybe see some turtles. Or you can get on a paddleboard or a kayak and enjoy the
There you
river.
go.
It's amazing, Tony. Now, if anyone gets, decides to choose to do the paddleboarding or kayaking, then the guide usually goes with, so we can kind of guide you up. The company we use is Blue Planet, and they're
Yeah.
incredible. And they have
Right
these.
there on the road, right there on the side
Yeah,
of the road.
you've
Very
been
good.
there. It's amazing. It's amazing. My friend Tyler, actually, you'll sometimes see his dog on the paddleboard because he does that. He's actually he's well known, actually. I think he's won a couple of big competitions with supping and actually having his two pets on the paddleboard when he actually you can actually catch a couple of you can actually catch decent surf with some of these paddleboards. The ones we use, however, are the about 11 feet, so they're perfect. If it's your first time, you're on a river, I always encourage it. But the rentals are super affordable. I think we get a little Hi5 discount, so the paddleboard is about $29 for an hour and a half, and the kayaks themselves wouldn't be much more than that. So after that, we then effectively check out some of the food trucks. We do go to Kahuku, which is known for Giovanni. Of course, they were
Hmm.
that was, I think, one of the first food trucks in the '70s that gave
Yeah.
birth to the food truck scene, on the North Shore. And then, of course, macadamia farm. We do check out the Kulua Ranch, which is we don't do their tours, disclaimer, because a lot of times people think, oh, we're going to the Kulua Ranch. I could do zip lining or an ATV tour. No, but you can certainly enjoy that place, get some photos, go to the movie board. Again, the
Mm.
guide can show you some of the props of the different movies, but we don't do the activities. And then the Windward Drive, Tony, as you know, is a beautiful drive. A lot of people want to see the east side of our islands. So we, go around the east side and see the beautiful beaches, maybe stop off at a beach. Again, because it's small groups, we have a lot more flexibility to stop off at certain places. And then we, check out a lookout. Often the Pali lookout's incredible. A lot of people don't get a chance to
Oh,
see.
beautiful up there.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, Tony? It's just the
Yeah.
the view and just being up there, you can feel it. It's a special place. A lot of again history. So yeah, so effectively we eat our way around the island. Again, food, but I think the adventure through the river or just being at a beach on your
Mm.
time is why people book that Circle Island tour.
Mm.
Yes.
When you're coming back from the east side, after you get, do you cross at Polly Lookout, or do you ever go down to
Yeah.
Makapu'u Lighthouse? Or
Well, no. So with our Circle Island tour, what's kind of unique is we don't go this, and this is a beautiful drive to do. That's why if you have a rental car and stuff, it's a beautiful drive. There's also I was speaking to Steve and Natalie, and they booked the blue line, and it's an amazing line from Inoa, and you get to see the Makapu Lighthouse, you get to see the Waimanalo beaches. That our Circle Island tour doesn't go around that side because we kind of like want to stay a little longer in some of the activity led parts to the actual
right.
tour. But what we do is we do head over to Pali. And then, depending on our flexibility, we've known to hit the Biodu Temple as well. So
Oh,
again,
okay. Yeah, that's beautiful.
it's beautiful, the Valley of the Temple. So, but the Pali lookout is incredible. But again, we're not scripted, so we do like some flexibility. And sometimes, the guests may mention something significant, and if time permits, then we can sort of make an additional stop. So again, we work with our clients, and our guides are really good at communicating that as well. But again, the stops, I don't want to, again, bore you with all the stops, and I don't think I'm doing it justice, but I would probably say that the stops are located like when you look at the description of the tour 100%. And reach out to me. I'm more than happy to get Facebook messages. Often, I
Okay.
do reply to, within a reasonable amount of time. My
Yes, you
phone is
do.
always on me, so people can contact an email, and again, the website has it there. It's pretty self-explanatory as well. Definitely.
That brings up a good point. What what type of promotion do you want? And guys, don't do this yet. Don't do this yet. I'm just asking the question. Would you
Yeah,
like to have more follows on Instagram or comments on Facebook or followers on Facebook? What is your what's a good way for the members to show
of course. Look,
appreciation
I
other than
think
going to your site?
Of course, of course. I think for the members to, and there's a few reasons why. I think if the members can, follow the Facebook, we do have the Facebook. We
Perfect.
have
Perfect.
effectively. I think we're covering most of social media, if I'm not mistaken, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. But Facebook and Instagram would be definitely main to, presence on Facebook and Instagram. Now,
Right.
just simply following, and the reason is because sometimes we post photos of our tours. We, of course, ask permission with our guests to post photos, but we keep it organic. What we want to do, the way I wanted to build my Instagram was all about, I don't want to take necessarily 4K drone footage of our beautiful island, which is not reachable for most people. They see a beautiful footage, but it's all about how can I actually take photos of people connecting with the island through touch and taste. So a lot of our photos are on locations of our guests. So therefore, by following our pages, if you see a particular photo that stands out and go, wow, I want to go to that place, then guess what? You've got a link to it. It's like, oh, great. We mention where that photo is taken, or you can take a screenshot and then we can tell you that and we can go, okay, let's do it. So by following our site, especially Facebook or Instagram, you can see photos and then you can say, "Hey, look, I really want to go to those angel wings. Those angel wings are amazing. Where can I get a photo?" And then we know
The
it's
ones
like,
in Haleiwa
because there's a few
on the
angel
side of
wings.
the wall.
It's
Yeah.
like it helps when we can narrow it down or two. Same thing with some of the swings. Some people like to want to be on a swing, and again, we have many swings around the East Coast.
Yeah.
So please, follow us. Take a screenshot of the photo you see on Instagram, and then I can say, and my guides can say, "Yeah, I know that. I took the photo. That's where it is." So that's why it's in your best interest, and of course, it helps us grow our business because again, Facebook has been extremely valuable. And I think going back to your original question, Tony, with regards to how I started up the company, I would say Facebook was one of the main reasons why I was able to grow the company, because of the fact, the word of mouth. And there's so many amazing Facebook groups, yours included, that give the audience the island right there. And I know it was so valuable to Steve and Natalie. They kept on raving about you and what kind of experience their holiday was with having found you. It wouldn't have been the same. And I know Natalie and Steve were very vocal on that. And I'm sure all of the guests today can say the same. So yeah, Facebook is
Oh,
very
thank
powerful.
you. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Um, so when I first connected with JK, it was because of Steve and Natalie, and I spoke to him. We've not talked since since the last time we talked, of course, but we want to put together a giveaway, uh, and I think we said we'd do 3 or 4 giveaways, which I will that out with JK. But
Yes.
JK, aren't you also putting together a tour and you have a discount code for us? What can you tell us
Yeah,
about
of
that?
course, of course. So, if any of your guests today are watching and are interested in booking either a Circle Island tour or a grouped food and waterfall tour, or even a private island tour, um, the promo code that we have will get you 20% off each of those tickets, and I believe it's GTH 20.
20, yeah, GTH
And
20.
again, yeah, thank you, Tony. And what will happen is when you use that promo code, it'll actually prompt you. Well, you'll see a section to enter it, and sometimes people aren't able to find it. I'm happy to help, but it's there. And when you enter that promo code, you'll get 20% off each of the tickets. So that's just something we would love to offer your guests, Tony. And they can use that now effectively. Yeah.
Very good. I'm just putting something in real quick
Oh,
here.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. That's a promo
Yeah,
code.
yeah,
We've
it's a
used that
first
for others, but yeah,
GTX 20. Yeah, correct, correct. And I tested it, so it will automatically drop 20%. If there's any issues and someone isn't able to, for whatever reason, because it happens, then just let me know, message me, and I can certainly have a look what's going on. But that is available and live, for your audience. And yes.
all right, very good. And then we're going to be doing, guys, we're going to be doing a giveaway, and I think we're either going to do them 2 at a time and do 2 on Facebook and 2 on YouTube. But this is not kicking off the giveaway or the campaign yet, but it will most likely be to tag Hi5 Hawaii. I'm like 99% sure that's how we're going to do it because I want to get as many followers on his page as possible. And the
Thank you.
tags really do. It's like a saturation when you start getting more and more tags, they start showing your page. So I would really
Yeah.
like to give JK the as much benefit as we can, and we'll kick this off. We'll kick the campaign off tomorrow. So we'll probably do something uh, for July. Yeah, for July 2 in July, and then we'll see how that goes. Then maybe 2 in August, or maybe do them all in July and just get them over with, and just see what you guys want to do with bookings. And as we have it right now, it's going to be one tour per family. If you want to get another ticket, just like we've done with, you know, Star of Honolulu or Waikiki Trolley or Molokai Catamaran, you get that discount code and you still save 20% on the second, third, or fourth ticket. So I think that's a great thing, and I really do appreciate JK for taking the time and interest in sharing his afternoon with
You're,
us.
you're, you're welcome, Tony. And just one last thing I was just thinking is that, like, for your audience, I'm more than happy to, we've got these really cool stickers. There we go. You can see.
Hey, there you
So
go.
perhaps make it personalized, and for your audience, we can make sure that whatever tour you book, we have these really cool. Who doesn't like stickers? Are amazing, aren't they? Look at that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Put on your water bottle, your phone. But no,
There
I
you
really
go.
appreciate the time, Tony. And again, I would say is for anyone that's coming to Hawaii, definitely. Now, I should have mentioned Hawaiian melting pot. I haven't got the region for Australia, New Zealand yet. I've got the license for the US, of course, the UK and Ireland. I'm still working on getting regions, Japan, the Philippines, Australia, New Zealand. So for all the Australians and New Zealanders, and even Canadians, if you do go on to Amazon Prime, it may not be available for you to watch because I do need to acquire that license. Just FYI, if you're trying to find it. But probably the best way is IMBD, because it'll show up and it will tell you perhaps when it will be available. Just wanted to let you know.
Well, Shane or Steve, I think they're both from Australia. I think they said it's on Apple TV or something in Australia.
Oh,
They're
is
able
it?
to
Oh,
watch it over
perfect.
there.
Look, if it is, amazing, fantastic. I just
Yep.
wasn't sure because I try. I had some New Zealand contacts because my background, of course, my mum is from New Zealand, and a lot of my family and
Ah,
friends
okay.
are unable to watch on Amazon. But you could be right. There is further licenses perhaps coming through Roku or Apple. So if it is, amazing, fantastic.
Can someone confirm that, Shane from Australia, or maybe someone from New Zealand who's on? Can you confirm that you're seeing it on Apple TV, or was it Prime, Amazon Prime, and I read that wrong? Just let me know.
Yes, yes, yes.
The
But it's
the
a pleasure
Facebook page,
to have me
yeah.
on.
If you just do a search, you're asking for the Facebook page. It's HI the number five high
Correct.
five tours Hawaii
Hawaii,
LLC.
correct.
So yeah, they're just
Correct.
asking for that.
And I think, Tony, we do have, like, I did create a YouTube channel. We do have some really cool, quirky videos. The YouTube is Hi5 Activities. So
Okay.
some of our guides. There's one in particular, Amber, who goes and does some pretty cool activities, and she's kind of a blogger. So I mean, in terms of so there is some interesting videos on the YouTube platform. But yeah, again, Tony, I appreciate you taking the time to reach out to me because again,
Of
uh, you
course.
know, it's amazing, and I really appreciate it. And a big thanks to. I wonder, do you think Natalie and Steve are watching, Tony?
Steve's on. Steve's right here watching.
Okay.
Can you see
Big,
that
big
comment?
thank you, Steve. Fantastic.
Can you see that at the bottom there where it says Steve Coates says JK, it's on Amazon Prime for a small fee?
Oh, perfect. I do see that. Yeah. Okay. Amazing.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. If it is,
yeah.
I encourage everyone to watch it because
And then
you'll learn about the islands through, of course, the stories of the immigrants and the food. And maybe you'll want to go to some of these restaurants as well. So amazing.
Shane's also from Australia. He just wrote right there. He says at the moment it looks like you have to purchase it on Amazon. Okay, it's an Amazon Prime, but it's like what $4 for all
Yeah,
three
you're right,
episodes.
Tony.
It's beautiful. It's
You're
beautiful.
right. Four
Beautifully
dollars
done.
ninety nine probably gets you all three episodes, and then if you
Yeah,
just purchase, but you might as well just watch all three because after the first, you'll be wanting to watch the second and thereafter.
yeah,
So yeah, and if
yeah.
you,
I think
I would
it's
appreciate a review of like how they found it as well, like in terms of that's also another great way of like put in the things that you found really insightful as well. If for those that do watch it, we would love that. We would certainly love that.
Diane just put in it's
Oh, I
4.99 for
see.
season one, which is the three, and it's like I
The
think
episode.
it's $1.99 for one episode. You might as well
You're
buy
right, actually,
all
Tony. I think you are right. So yeah, 100%. And then the 4.99 would be for the season, which happens to have 3 episodes. Yes.
I did not buy it, but I don't know where I saw a bootleg. Maybe it's a bootleg, maybe it's on YouTube, but don't go looking for it. Go on to the Amazon
Yeah,
Prime,
appreciate it. Yeah,
click the link.
appreciate it.
Oh, wait, you know what? I think I've got your Bitly link.
Yeah, that
You know what I'll do? I'll make a post and
amazing.
we'll post it on the group.
That'll be
We'll post it on the
fantastic.
group.
Yeah. So I would I definitely appreciate that. It's again, it's really, I'm so proud of the fact that, the people that we came together to create this amazing masterpiece, it's to help them, of course. And it was such a fun project, to one day wake up and say, okay, I'm gonna. And again, I encourage everyone out there in terms of the audience to say, my advice to anyone is that you can do it. Never let anything limit you from achieving, what you're here to achieve, and that's to create. So it's just that looks different mediums to create, but I say do it. If you've got an idea, then do it. You have to.
You guys, do you guys have any questions? I have several more, but I don't want to just uh, take up too much of his time. So let's get to the most important. If there's any questions
Of
that you
course.
have, put them in the comments, and then I don't know if you can see the comments too. If there's a question that goes by there, JK, maybe you just jump on the question if they ask it. Um,
Of course.
Steve
Of
says
course.
I've
So,
watched JK first thing I did when he arrived. Oh, first thing you did when you arrived back home.
oh,
Um,
amazing.
yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, and the name of it is Hawaii Melting Pot. And the
Correct.
guy who's the host, the long-haired dude that's on
He's
there, he
amazing.
is.
He's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So,
He would be good. You said he was one of your tour operators or tour guides
yeah,
for a
he
while.
actually, he's got an amazing story. He was working for a company around the time when I set up Hi5, and again, I don't look at it as competition. We would chat at the coffee farm at Green World. We got to know each other, and then, in 2019, he said to me, "Look, I'm finishing tour guiding. I'm actually going to New York. I've always wanted to be an actor, a theater actor." And I'm like, amazing, do it. You got to follow your dream. And he did so. And he spent 1 year in theater. 2020, with the pandemic, brought him back to Hawaii. And I just remember the fact that he had studied in the UK, sorry, in New York, and the fact that he was doing theater. And I always thought that, of course, he'd be perfect to take the audience, and actually take ownership of this project. So I didn't second guess it once, any step. I said, you've got to be in it. I called him up and he was like, well, I'm not doing anything. As you know, it's 2020 at home. I'm having a lot of poke on my dad's couch, and I'm getting bigger. So I said, well, let's change that. I need you. Would you be interested in being the host of this concept of this Hawaii melting pot? And for 3 months, he was stellar, and
Did a great job. Great job.
stellar. And as a result, and one of the things why I want for this to sort of build momentum, of course, within your group, is I really want him to have further gigs, because I really see him going far. I really see that. I think Kenny Kusaka is his name, and not only is he a talented comedian on the circuit on Oahu, and he's had a couple of headliners at the Blue Note, but I really think that he can actually go the distance and be a household name. And I mean that with sincerity. So I feel like this is a way of getting him further work, really, and
Yeah,
so on and so on.
that's great. Penny had a question. I don't know if you could see it down there. She said, I wanted to know people with disabilities or in wheelchairs, can they go on any of these tours, or do they need to book a
Yeah,
private tour?
that's a great question. So the Mercedes Sprinter has additional step that as soon as you open up the actual door, the step comes, and it is a special handle to reach. We can fit those mobile scooters that can be the ones that you disassemble.
Right.
So
Collapse kind of down.
if there's still some mobility with the person, then we can certainly. We did it actually just last week. We had a grandmother who had very limited mobility. She actually had hired one of those scooters, and we actually disassembled it. It breaks into three parts. We put it in the back of the Sprinter because it's the additional 2,500, so it would normally have additional for luggage, and she was able to get in. So again, if you actually have some ability, to
Mhm.
get out of the chair, then 100% we can do it. But if you do not, we don't have the hydraulics where there's a ramp that goes down, unfortunately.
Right. Okay. All right. That's good. That should be. I mean, people that have some minimal mobility, it sounds like they can enjoy the tours.
Yes, yes. It's
Yeah.
so
Good.
important that we make it for everyone. And this is again, a quick story because now you're bringing back a memory of 2018. We had a Circle Island tour go out, and of course there was 13 people, so it was a full bus. And I remember picking up at the Coconut Waikiki, a great hotel, by the way, a beautiful boutique hotel in Waikiki. And I've these are the two left to pick up on the manifest. I see these two sitting down. One of the guests is very frail and has one of those. I want to call it a Zimmer frame. I could be wrong, but anyway, it's a walker. And
Oh yeah.
and then there was a woman next to him that happened to be his daughter. Now, cut a long story short, it took 10 minutes for us to walk where the van was, which was fine because we're Hawaii time, and everyone is patient. That's one key thing, to have patience.
Well,
When
wait
we
a
got
minute.
him in the van, he sat in the front section because it was easier. And everyone in the back was amazing. They were like, yeah, let's move around like Tetris so we can accommodate. He was 98 years of age.
Oh
His
my
daughter
goodness.
would have been, of course, late 70s. And he actually was in a retirement home in Hawaii, in Waikiki, a newly built retirement home. She's from Florida. She came out to visit him. She stayed at the Coconut, hence why they were at the Coconut. And anyway, he actually ended up having the most amazing time, and everyone else in the van did. And there was a 6-month-old, there was a 4-year-old, there was couples and honeymoon couples, you name it,
Wow.
across the board. And everyone harmonized like an orchestra. It was fantastic. And he happened to be on one of the boats in Pearl Harbor, 1941. So he got
Oh my
flung
goodness.
from one of the boats into the water. I think he was a deckhand. I loosely remember him, but his marbles, and he was able to retell the stories of what it was like on that day, and everyone was just amazed. The only thing is he had limited mobility, and we were able to handle it. So yeah, if you do have limited mobility, don't feel like, oh no, this tour is not going to be for me, because you'll be surprised. Yeah, you'll be surprised.
Excellent. That's good to hear. Steve, can you see Steve's question down there? He says, JK, can you explain the amazing fruit stand on the side of the road that
Yes,
Auntie, with
yes.
Auntie? I love that.
Yes. So yeah, so an amazing story of, again, the souls that we visit on our islands. A local fruit friender, and she operates, her fruits are there. I mean, her fruits do the talking. I mean, let's be honest. It's been this long, and Steve is still talking about them. So it obviously left
Yeah.
an impression on Steve and Natalie. Yeah, she's so warm. Like, for example, when I bring a group there, I usually, I give her some money so she can cut a mango or a pineapple or a soursop, and I wanted to share it with everybody on tour, right? So I look after her, and then she's so generous. She keeps on giving you more, and then the next thing I know is like she's got a bunch of bananas, and she keeps on wanting me to give it to the clients. I'm like, of course, I'll share these ice cream bananas. So she's just constantly feeding you. It's a bit like my grandmother in Europe when I am full and I go around to her place and she's fai, which is in Greek means eat, eat, eat. She's just constantly feeding you. Well, that's the kind of people you meet on these tours. These fruit vendors want you to taste, the labor of their fruit, the fruits, and it's incredible. And I think Steve remembered the my favorite fruit is soursop. So it's incredible. So she's amazing. So she has a beautiful soul. It's either her or her son. And a big tip, get there early. She opens up about 10 a.m. And then by
Hmm.
2 to 3 p.m., she's gone. Like, her fruits have sold out. And again, if you don't book a tour, you've got to go and see her. Perhaps maybe I could give you the link, Tony, as
Oh, that'd
well.
be great. We'll
She doesn't
connect
have a
after this and
website,
we'll exchange some
but
links.
I can maybe ping her location to you. Because again, we go to the places a little less visited, so some of these places are a little harder to kind of describe to some of your audience. But I'll try and do as the best I can, and I can maybe flick you her location on a map. Because I think everybody needs to try Auntie's fruits. And if you do, the soursop is incredible. You won't go wrong. It's one of my favorite fruits on the island. It's incredible.
Is she north of the Sunrise Shack or south of that?
She's actually close to the old sugar. So there's the old Wailua. So part of the food tour is we go to the old sugar mill, which closed its doors. I want to say in 1995, and it was running some of the world's best sugar was coming out of the sugar mill. Right, it's a very historic sugar mill, and she's very close to that. And in actual fact, if you do go to the sugar mill, you got to make a visit to her. And I think when I took Steve and Natalie, it was on our food and waterfall tour. So I knew it was very close by, and I just knew that they'd get a lot of value from it. And sometimes these are not on itinerary. So I will stress that to your audience is that like that left an impression on Steve. But when you look at the food and waterfall tour, the itinerary, it doesn't say that about Auntie's farm, because I like to keep that where it's those little surprises along the way. It's not
Right.
about the destination, as you know, it's about the journey. And I think that's key when you're doing a tour. Definitely, you'll enjoy those things that you just never expected. I'll tell you this. When I ask everybody, and some of my guides do this as well, what their favorite food or their favorite part of their tour was, sometimes it's the fruit at Arnie's farm,
Yeah.
more so than jumping off Waimea's rock or seeing turtles. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that it leaves an impression again on how giving someone is, and that is probably it speaks volumes, yeah, from the Hawaiians and what it is to be in Hawaii. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It really is.
I agree with you, JK. The connection sometimes. I mean, it's almost like when you tell the story, you're like, man, that just seems like it's too
Yes.
melancholy or whatever. But when you experience it and you're
Yes.
standing on this, and I've had this happen many times. You're standing on the
Yeah.
side of the road, completely unplanned, and the only reason that you stopped is there's this horribly painted sign that said fresh coconuts or
Yes. Yes.
malasadas or
Yes.
what,
Yes.
and you just pull over quick enough and you walk back to the stand and there's either a father with his daughter or a mother with her
Yes.
son or daughter, and they just there with a knife and they'll cut it. And almost every time when you walk up, you say, "Well, how much is this? How much is that?" As they're telling you the price, they're pulling out a knife to cut a piece off to give it to you to show you,
Of
and you're
course.
like, "Oh, that just that little note of hospitality." There
A
was a
hundred
there was a
a
there
hundred
was a
percent.
fruit stand. Those galleries that are on the same side of the street where Giovanni's shrimp shack is, but it's up the
Yes.
street. It's where they have the wood carved
Yes. Yes.
gallery and all. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
that
Yes.
gallery that's on the very end. For some reason, I went walking up there and there's a fruit stand up there, and I talked to the lady that
Yeah.
was there, and she says, "Oh yeah, if you like artwork or whatever," she goes, "Go see my older sister." And this lady was probably 80. And she said, "My younger
Yes.
sister's
Yes.
there." And I go, "Wow." I think she meant younger sister, not older sister, whatever.
Yes.
And so she goes, "Yeah, you would like it. Go on in there." And so I went in. There was no fan, and it was hot, hot, hot. It was like July. There was just a fan, and there's this Hawaiian lady just sitting there, and she's sitting in the chair, and I come walking, and she greeted me. She's, "Oh, hi, how are you? Where are you from? What are you looking for?" And it wasn't like a sales pitch. It was like genuinely, "Well, where are you coming from?" I said, "Well, I just saw your little sister." She said, "Yeah." I went, "Oh, okay." And she said, "Yeah." She goes, she saw because I had a bag of like mango, I think it was in my hand. JK, I sat there for almost 2 hours
Wow.
talking with this lady about,
Wow.
she said, I said, she goes, "Oh, you're in Waikiki." Yeah, I don't go to Waikiki. I haven't been there in years. She had not been to like Waikiki in like 30 years. And it's
Wow.
across the island. I'm like, "Are you serious?" She goes, "No, if ever I need to get something over there, I have
Yes.
someone go get it." We grew up down the street. I grew up fishing out of this shrimp pond, and there's a
Yeah.
fishing hole over here. And it was that right there, that 2 hour conversation was one of the best tours I'd ever had, because she's
Yeah.
just telling you how it is, you know.
Of
She
course.
went
Of
to a
course.
school that didn't have walls,
Yeah.
didn't
It's
have walls
incredible.
on it. Yeah,
It's incredible, isn't it, Tony? And it's really interesting because like traveling is an education for living, and of course, I'm in the industry, and of course, everyone that's watching this like to go on a holiday,
yeah,
and I think traveling is something that is so important, and it is an education for living. And going back to storytelling, traveling, it leaves you speechless and it turns you into a storyteller, and that's what we are.
mm,
We are
right,
pages, chapters. When you go deep within oneself, we are a book, and we become storytellers by the experiences we have. And traveling allows you to meet these individual characters, just like a book. When you're reading a book, one of my favorite books is The Alchemist. And the characters in
oh,
that
I know
book,
that book.
yeah, it's an amazing book, but it references really who we are. And often traveling will allow you to have that brief conversation, even if it's just for a few minutes, but, it'll stay with you because we're energy. And often, that's what I kind of have realized, my time in Hawaii. And again, Hawaii is a very special place. And I do think it's a conduit to bring the best version to the table, let's say the dinner table. And it really does. And I think the people is what makes Hawaii this amazing place. And of course, the location, geographically, the location is spectacular. And of course, the landscape. I mean, from sunrise to sunset to the beautiful
Yeah,
elevation on the mountains. But for me personally, it's the stories. And I think just like what you just, mentioned about that experience you had. And I think that's why you do this. I suspect, Tony, it's
yeah,
about you being a storyteller and you want to bring people. And again, I will mention Steve and Natalie because they found you they found you to be inspirational to be there. Their experience would not have been the same. And I know he had mentioned to me a number of times that's the case. So it's amazing what you're doing as well to advocate for Hawaii and, of course, these places. So any help I can give you in order for this, I'm more than happy to help too, Tony.
well, you already have, you've done a lot, and we do appreciate your time. I know I've kept you longer. Everybody,
No,
let's
no.
give him an aloha. Fill up
Yeah,
those comments with an aloha to JK. We
yes.
really do appreciate it. If there's
Thank you.
you've given us the discount code, which we appreciate. I'm going to
Yeah.
follow up with you guys. So I'm going to do a stream probably. I may still do it later today, guys, but I for sure tomorrow. And then we'll do a post. I have it almost already done. That'll
Yeah.
describe what the giveaway is. We'll confirm everything with JK. Get the
Perfect.
discount code out there for you. I'll do that. Finish up that post for his the melting pot as well. So make sure you guys give that
Perfect. Thank you.
some love. And JK, any parting words?
The biggest part of it is thank you. I can't say that enough times. So I'm grateful. And going back, I think we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and just to share and talk to you, and of course, it's why we're here. So I'm very happy. So thank you. And for those that are watching, when you come to Hawaii, just be in the present. Sometimes people pack their suitcase of a lot of activities, which is great. However,
Oh,
just
yeah.
be in the present, breathe, put your feet in the water. I encourage everyone to put their feet in the water, bodies in the water. Just go in the water and just be in the present, and just breathe. And that is such an important thing to do now, more than ever, in my opinion. So just be in the present and enjoy this beautiful island, and it will take care of you. It certainly will. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. One of the, you just said something. I just want to mention this again. One of the biggest transitions I think you will see in someone's life in the way they do things is the difference between their first visit and their second visit to Hawaii. The person that comes for the first time, it's and no matter how many streams or blogs or articles or websites or posts that they see, they almost always overpack, overplan, and they have an activity in the morning, something for noon. At dinner, we're doing this, and the next day we got that, and there's no give. There's no give time. And then they pack,
Yes,
3 outfits every day. They have 30
yes,
shoes and
yes,
20 hats,
yes.
whatever. And then after they've been here 4 or 5 days, like, what was I thinking? And then the second time they come, they have 1 carry-on, 2 pairs of shoes, 2 shirts, 2 pants. They don't plan anything. And then they have a wonderful time. So, and
Yeah,
you can't really convince the first time visitors to not do that and behave like a second time visitor. I think you have to be a first time visitor
yeah, of
to
course.
get to be the second time visitor.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
And that's what is experience 100%. And to furthermore, with what you offer is that you really help those first time visitors by sharing all the wisdom and knowledge, of all the little places
I
that you
hope
need
so.
to decide 100%. Like, oh, you got to go to this particular. I know Steve mentioned
Yeah.
about this side street because if you go down this side street, it's going to open up to this
Yeah,
side street,
yeah,
and he's so vocal about that, and it makes sense because it really does. And I think that in
yeah.
itself, with what you're doing, is why we're here. Again, you're in the service of others, and we all do that, and we all need to be doing that. So it's amazing. So again, thank you, Tony, and
All right.
everyone
I
watching.
appreciate it. JK, thank you very much. I'll let you go. We're just gonna close
Yes,
off the stream. But again, I'll connect with you again. We'll tighten
100%.
up the giveaways. Thank you again for the
More than happy to help.
GTH20. We're gonna try and get you some business because you certainly deserve it.
Amazing. Mahalo. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Mahalo. So how was that? I think you did a great job. I think you did a great job. I want to thank Steve and Natalie for bringing him to my attention. Um, I'll be very honest with you guys, as I always am. I sent out this flyer of an email and a call and another email and another call and a text to a few tour operators. They didn't respond, or they responded late, or they haven't responded back. This is for tour operators. This is for car rental companies. And and instead of me sounding as if I'm upset, because I'm not, I actually love that they don't do that, because it just right off the bat just helps us avoid any issues. I had 3 Kaneohe tour operators that I actually spoke to. I put them on kind of a test. I said, okay, make sure you call me tomorrow anytime you want to tomorrow. Make sure you call me, and we'll get a interview and everything set up. Only one of them called back. I called back the other 2, emailed them, but they haven't returned a call. So in my opinion, they're persona non grata. They're off the list. I don't want to have, as I said to you guys before, I don't want to have 50 tour operators and 3 or 5 uh, rental car companies. I want to have 1 or 2 or 3 that we collectively as a team have um, vetted out and either had a really, really good experience or not so great of an experience, because both are valuable, because we can learn from them both. Um, so what did you guys think on a scale of 1 to 5? What did you think about that? Um, I do apologize for the dead air time when I had to do something on Facebook, but Facebook will not allow me to do it until the stream starts, and I can't do it. I don't want to do it during the interview. So that was really the only negative I saw on my side. Um, I wish I could have not had to do that, but there's no other choice. 5 out of 5. Yes, Valentini, I was talking about you, by the way. No, I was talking about anybody who comes for the first time. And you shouldn't tell them not to do it, because I think you need someone, first time visitor. They need to learn it for themselves. And you know what? There's a lot of people that still do bring a lot of stuff and bring 3 or 4 suitcases. If you do, that's no negative commentary to you. It's just there's another way to do it. And mostly it's not so much about what you pack, it's about what you plan. I see so many people planning 3 meals a day, 2 activities a day, and they have no downtime. And all you need is one thing to cancel, one activity to cancel, and not have an open day, and you're out of luck trying to fill that time. So anyway, and we've talked about that a number of times. Um, so here's what we're going to do. I think that was great. He gave us a 20% discount. That's discounts on any tours booked. I'm going to give him I think we're going to do a timeline between today and August 30th or 30. Is it 30th? August 30th or 31st? Whatever the last day of August is. And then based on how this campaign performs. So what we'll probably do, I was thinking about this as he was talking. That's why I put out that poll. How many people are coming here in August, September, October? I would really like to get somebody that's coming soon to win, like, at least within August, to win the giveaway. But I don't want to limit it either. I don't want to say just those in August and not have any, a bunch of other people, comment. So what I may do is I may either buy a tour or get him to contribute one, or he and I could split one and maybe just give it to somebody who's coming. But just so we get a live input, definitely Steve and Natalie gave the very, 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 very best endorsement you can give. But I want to make sure that we get somebody under this new understanding. They've had this preface of what to expect on the tour, and then I want them to go on the tour and say, I loved it, hated it, too much, too little, more of this, less of that. Okay. So what we'll probably do is two island tour giveaways. And I think he put together a tour itinerary just for us. And I think that's going to be our going to Hawaii tour. I think that's what he's going to do. But in any case, it's going to be 2 free tours, 1 tour per couple or family is going to be given away. And we're going to do one campaign on YouTube and 1 campaign on Facebook. So it'll be a matter of doing likes and shares of a designated YouTube video or a designated post, just like we've done in the past. There's nothing really going to be anything tricky about it. So I really like this guy. I think we've vetted him as much as we can. I've not gone on the tours myself, but I think you can get a good sense of what this guy's purpose is and how he feels about certain things. He seems to be very nice, not like Wendy. He seems very in touch with, giving service to his clients and really just doing a really good service for them. All right. So before we go and do our sign off, any questions from you guys? Any comments? Make sure you like and share if you're on Facebook, if you would. If you're on YouTube, please give it a like and a comment. Comments after the stream are much, much better. If you do have time to do it, I would really love that. Love that you'd go back and give a comment. On the topic of the YouTube, I'm always asking, let's get more views, what have you. It would be great if we had one of our videos go viral. We've had some of our shorts get like 3,000 or 2,000, 2,300, 1,000 views, that type of thing. But if you just look at the number of subscribers we have, which is really very low, it's only like 1,900 or 1,090, I think it is, something like that. The number of views we get for having so few subscribers is actually pretty darn good. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys working. I know it's a pain to hear me have to say it all the time, but I just want to grow the channel so we can do more things like this. And I actually have 2 more providers coming up. I'm hopeful that the second one's going to come on next week and the third one is going to come on the following week after that. And we will pre-schedule all these discussions. I want to try and keep the streams down to an hour, but if the information is flowing, if there's engagement from you guys and the visitor count, viewer count is still growing, I don't mind staying on. I mean, we went for an hour and 45 minutes. I know that's too long, but as long as you guys like the information, I think we'll just continue in this format. And if you want to see any other changes in the format, if you like certain things, if you don't like getting the upcoming events, or if you want more travel news, some updates on rates, things like that. One of the things I did want to do on one of the upcoming panels is I wanted to pick two sets of dates and just go through some rates with some hotels. Now, I know you guys can do that exact same thing. You don't need me to do it on Expedia or Travelocity or Booking.com, but I think it would be beneficial. And we'll find out. You guys are either going to say, man, this is boring as heck, let's not do this. But I think it would be important for us to do, look at Booking.com for a set of dates in September or November, something like that, and just run down the available rates. That way that we can talk live and you can say, oh, that is a good rate. That's higher than what I had. That's lower than what I had. What's the resort fee? I think getting that type of feedback would be good. But it's either going to be horribly boring and an incredible disappointment to you, or I think it's going to be beneficial. We'll see what happens. But that's something that I have in mind. Definitely when we do it live on the street and I'm walking in front of the hotels and pointing them out, that is a much better, probably more engaging, more entertaining. But I think this could be more factually informative for you guys. Okay. All right. Any questions? None? Doesn't look like. All right. Let's do it, guys. 4Ls. 4Ls. You can't see my fingers, but I'm holding up four L's. One last thing. Let me back up. The Fairy Tree of Waikiki, that book, I did secure it with that. It is a guy. We're going to be doing at least 5 books giveaway. We're going to be doing two, and probably 1, or maybe I'll get him to do 6, so we could do 2, and 2. I think it's kind of odd to do odd numbers, and I don't want to do one at a time. So that campaign and giveaway is going to be coming up. If you're not sure what it is, go back and look at yesterday's live stream. I may talk about the book a little bit more, but I'm not going to take it out on and do a live stream because I have to carry it around and I don't want to do that. But it's a great little book. If you go on to Amazon, look up The Fairy Tree of Waikiki. This is written by a Hawaiian local. It's a kid's book. It's actually pretty cool. It talks about, turtles and the flowers and the chickens and Hawaiian people. And it's good for kids probably 5 to maybe 8, something like that. Maybe you can read it to them. The illustrations are really cool. They're done by the gentleman's father. I think he's Australian. The father is, and the son is from Hawaii. But in any case, we're going to be doing that giveaway also on Facebook, probably on YouTube as well. And that's it. Okay. 4Ls. Hopefully you laugh, learn, loved, and like the stream. If you're on Facebook, please give it a like and a share. If you're on YouTube, please give it a like. Come back, give a comment afterwards if you would. If this is your first stream, if this is your first stream, I guarantee it's not going to be your last. And if you're already saying it's going to be your last, man, you didn't pay attention, because, man, I think getting these tour operators on here is a great idea. I want to get another hotel operator. I want to get a general manager of a hotel. What I really want to do is I want to get one of my retired hotel general managers, because they can give you all the dirt on all the hotels and not be, about how they operate, and not just the dirt, but, the input on how the hotels operate. Maybe that'll be boring to a lot of you, but hopefully it won't be. All right. Well, if you're joining now, it's a little late, but go back and watch the stream from the beginning. I think you'll really find it informative. You'll find out that we got a really great discount code from Hi5 Hawaii Tours. JK seems to be really like a special dude. I really hope that we can do some good business, and I hope that he delivers. I certainly think that it looks like he does. And then don't forget to check out that Hawaii melting pot. I was not just blowing smoke. I would, if it sucked, I would have not said anything. I would just said, yeah, he has a video out. But that melting pot, Hawaii melting pot, it gives you a great insight as to what kind of dude this guy is, what kind of tours they are. All right. That's it. We're done. Over with. If you want, we may do a little walk around stream. We may go get a sandwich or something if Lucille's up for it. We may do a live stream of that real quick. And just know that I love and appreciate and respect every second, every minute, every hour of your day that you let me show you Hawaii. Aloha.